Man, I was just marvelling, Andrew, at how far you have come with this whole deal, man. You've got a spectacular looking hot rod. Like, you just do such a great job with, all your corporate partners. And, I mean, this thing is next level, your truck. And you just completed a grueling East Coast campaign. How was that?
Yeah, it was full on. It was busy.
Full on is Latin for Priolo, mate. You know that, right?
It was like one of Dad's pizza nights, just every night. It was unreal. I enjoyed it. It's been a build-up. I've always said I don't want to go do it until I'm winning at home, and that hasn't happened yet. But I felt like, with the title being where the classic was, it just kind of made sense where I could do a little bit more laps. So it was awesome to go over and experience at different tracks. I've generally adapted to newer tracks pretty quick. So I was happy to go to I loved Mount Gambier. I'd love to go back there again.
It's mint, isn't it?
Soon. Yeah, it's a very small version of, I felt like Kwinana, where you can relate. Just getting in my head that you need to go slower to go faster is hard, because at Kwinana you need
momentum.
You see how everyone races, everyone's 110% all the time. So to get that out of my head was a lot. I was like, can't drive the car, it's too tight. And then when I actually slowed down, the car was fine. So, and obviously a lot that we had to change with the car to get it to work. We thought we could use a lot more from what we do at home than what we ended up working out you could do. So by the end of it, we were really good. So, and I think it's helped me come home too. Just doing those extra laps. And, I hadn't been out of the seat since Boxing Day, although my wife wasn't too happy about that. But I wasn't, not being at home and racing every week, it was unreal. But, I did like 15 nights between Boxing Day and the end of Feb. That's normally my whole season. So it was unreal to do that. And I think, now we're winding down to the end of the year and whatnot. Be good to try and put it all together and try and learn some more.
And again, you're against different cars as well. Now, through here is your office. So when you're inside your office and you look out here, there's a constant reminder, right, of your other focus. You've got some great partners on board, mate, the New Style Living folks, Titan Ford and your alloy steels and all of that sort of stuff. Your truck really got people talking over East. That's been a building process, hasn't it? You didn't just suddenly build a phenomenal truck.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's this is my 8th year, and I think it's my 8th year in sprint cars, and I did 4 in 500s. And it's just been every year is build something. When I did my first 500, Rick Geneve actually jokes about it all the time. He says, you went to go buy your first Formula 500, and I was helping Jason, my brother at the time, and I was kind of on the fence about racing. I was focused on my business and wasn't really keen on going down that route, because I know how it sort of started, and I was not going to do it. I said, nah, he won't take. If he doesn't take 3,800, he wants 4,000. I'm not doing it. And it wasn't a complete car. It was sort of, I had to build some stuff up. And then Rick jokes about it now. He's like, do you remember that you weren't going to buy it if it was $200 more? Now look at you, idiot. So, it's unreal, like how it's eventuated. I originally said I had no interest in sprint cars, and then I kind of got to the point with 500s. We'd done really, really well. I was happy with it. But it got to the point where if you wanted to stay at the front and win races, the engines were 40 or 50,000. And I'm like, sponsors don't appreciate, 500s as much as what I think you get recognised in sprint cars. It's like midget racing. I mean, midget racing's unreal, but it's still not recognised as much by, a general, I'm going to see Titan Ford about, sponsoring us. So
in the Maddington Toyota series, which is another little nice little, ambush marketing.
So, you go to people like that, and everyone knows what a sprint car is, and people see what events get put on and whatnot. So it's, it was a building process to do it. Each year I'd, sell something to do something else. As most people know, I don't have, my dad raced, and there's 4 boys, so he can't fund everyone to go racing. All of me and myself and all my brothers that have raced have always done it off our own back. So we don't have, like I said, mum and dad chipping in, paying for everything. It's all on us. And that's probably why that window is next to my desk, to remind me to continue to work. I'm pretty good at staying out of the workshop through the day. I'm here to do my work, and then I come in here at night time when we do the car, because a lot of people lose focus along the way and forget about how you got to that point, or that you need to make money before you spend money. So it's been a cool journey, and obviously my mum and dad that support me in a physical way. My mum still does all the cooking for the crew. That still hasn't stopped. I think my wife did it for a little bit when we got married, and now that we've got the little one, she's been busy with that. So mum's ended up cooking again. So, and mum loves it. I tell her, you shouldn't be doing this, but she loves it. She can see it's, I still, even now, go racing on a Saturday night, and my dad's there, and my brothers are all there helping me. Obviously Michael basically does a car setup. Jason helps me as well, and Jason's kids are there, and David's kids come down, and it's kept our family pretty close together. So I think mum and dad love it for that as well.
You've used your space very nicely. I mean, you got the truck which fits inside here. You got your coffee shop across the road, which I just had coffee with Stephen Figlamini, and it was Luch that said, mate, you need to go to Espresso 57. It's like Andrew's shop. So were you always going to do this? I mean, like you said, 4 boys. I remember the days when you guys were just tiny kids, mate, when Dad was starting to learn and starting to become better and better at what he did. Was this always going to be on your radar?
I think if Dad did his career in reverse and started with golf and ended with racing, I probably would have taken up golf. But
I'm glad you didn't. I like golf, but geez.
To be honest, and we had this conversation. I talk about it every now and then. My wife doesn't come from a speedo background. She'll say, "How long are you going to do this?" And she'll say, when you do stop, and if you stop, you need another hobby, because she knows I'll go mad sitting at home. But I do love it, and I said to myself when I went to sprint cars, if I don't. If I'm not good enough after 5 years, that someone either, I'm good enough to drive for someone, or someone owns something. And at that point, I'd come out of 500s winning a lot of races. So not that I expected to do that straight away. I was like, if I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. So, but then I quickly realized it's a long apprenticeship. It's not short. And then I also realized nothing beats running for a family team and owning it myself. If I, like the weekend, we've had a pretty good 2 months, and, we've had moments here or there that I should have done better things, but the weekend was an example that it was a downfall. I wasn't happy with how we did, but I also look back and went, we've just done 2 months, pretty good. We can't be so hard on ourselves. Like we had that midweek show. You're racing with Jock Goodyear for the lead of a race. That's someone that races every weekend, and he's the best there is at the moment. Between him and Lockie and stuff like that. So we know we can do it. It's just a matter of applying that and making sure we keep doing a good job. So I definitely wouldn't have done anything else. And I think seeing how it keeps our family tight, and if I can have good sponsors that sort of help along the way. Obviously I put a lot of money in myself and work hard to be able to do it, but New Style Living's been with me for I think 10 years now. People like Beyond Tours have been with me for 10 years. Titan Ford 2 or 3 now. Obviously, Kostekis came on board for these last races, which was thanks to my brother Jason. Obviously, through go-karting, they all know each other really well, and that's been unreal. So hopefully we can, obviously losing Harley Davidson because they sold the business was hard. But I also, it's a lot of work, to make sure your branding's good and you do a good job. And
well, that's something that you do very well. I'm looking over your shoulder for a second. There's the 8. I remember when it was the 24. Back in the day, your dad, dinosaur. Right? That was the bucks off car, I think, was, when the wing was all up high and, that's got a nice big bend in it. But your socials are really good, Andrew. That's something that you do really, really well. Is that just you doing that, or?
Yeah, I do all of it. So
it's very cool, man.
Yeah, it's
Ayyy-P Motorsport,
it's hard because it's not, it takes so much of your time to try and stay on top of that and try and make sure that you put results out there for people. If your sponsors aren't seeing it or people aren't seeing it, you've got to really stay on top of it. And I think, and the way social media has changed too, like I wish I had more time to put into it to create content.
You almost get more value for a sponsor on there than you do on the track, which is kind of sad, but it's the truth.
100%. I think we're lucky at the moment. WA is probably so far ahead of everything else with the TV stuff. So we're really lucky at the moment that it's getting so recognised on TV. But, the social media side, we had a media day this year, which is bang on with Chad Nail on, and, the stuff that they tell you about, and they're spot on. Not everyone wants to see, I know we do it because you have to put content up, but not everyone cares about seeing a photo of a car in the workshop. They want to see what's cooking on our barbecue or what's,
lifestyle.
People want to relate more, this is what they do all day, or this is, so I wish we had more time to do that sort of stuff. Jason and that joked about setting cameras up in the mule and stuff and doing more like a vlog years ago, but we never got around to doing it. So I think stuff like that, you've got to create different content to keep people engaged, and you know, there's people that do a great job of it. Just like obviously a time thing. Like I said, I work all week and then got to come out here on a Wednesday night. We'll generally get the car ready and we wash after racing. So there's not, you know, the time to be sitting there doing editing. I mean, I get some time at home with a little one. She's only 7 months now, so I try and spend as much time with her as I can, and with the wife, and try and keep them as happy as I can.
Mate, I wanted to drop in and see you because you're doing a great job. I love watching what you do. I love seeing you over east. You know, I'm still a proud West Aussie, so whenever I see any of you boys over there, I'm like, hell yeah, Sandgroper's in the house. So everything that you do is so beautifully turned out and so well done. So keep on doing what you're doing, man, because you're rocking it.
Yeah, it's cool. Obviously now I'm pretty much, I'd say probably the last one left as far as immediate family. Obviously, Dad's now sold the drag car. We're going on a family holiday to... Dad's now finished his racing career, so he wanted to do a family trip. So we're all going to Europe in July.
Italy by any chance?
Yeah, we're doing a cruise through, going to Sicily, where Dad was.
Oh wow!
Where Dad's originally from, where his family's from. Doing a cruise through there, and I think there's 17 by the time there's all the grandkids and all that. So it's Dad's dream that he wanted to do this, and you know, we say to our parents all the time, go and enjoy yourselves, do your golf trips. You know, spend as much money as you want, just don't leave us any debt. But you know, it's also obviously David's not really racing much anymore because he's sort of spending a lot of time with his boy Cruz. So I think I'm the last one holding it all together as far as that. So I've got to try hang in there till Cruz is old enough to start racing, and then that way we're still involved.